Quick thoughts here with the guys on Washington and LA. Mac, this was a Chargers team that looked like they led with the jab, 10-0 early in this game, thought that they could control it, but then Jayden Daniels comes to life. The offense goes stagnant for LA. Some issues continue to pop up for Justin Herbert. How do you measure these two up after this one, knowing what the Chargers were capable of early and then all that they lacked throughout?
Well, let's start the Commanders first. Big-time win for them. You know, getting their star quarterback back. They were going through some adverse situations, clearly not having Jayden Daniels. Wasn't clicking on either side of the football field. This was a big moment for them on the road against the Chargers. As you mentioned, Joe, they lost last week, so they were trying to bounce back as well, and they took care of the business. I really believe the Commanders, they're a playoff caliber team. They have to stay healthy. Now, let's transition to the home team. I was really surprised when I looked at the miscues that we saw from the Chargers. When you talk about a Coach Harbaugh-led team, you usually see smart football for 4 quarters, hard, smart football. Right before halftime, you talked about that Ladd McConkey touchdown that was called back. That's a 10-point swing because that took 7 points off the board for the Chargers, and because of that big-time throw by Jayden Daniels, they were able to put 3 points on the board right before halftime. And our very own Patrick Peterson gave us a stat. Teams that score right before halftime, there's a 73-75% chance you're going to win the ball game. Guess what? They won the ball game. Out of half, they got the football and drove down and scored again. So you look at the miscue, Quentin Johnston's fumble. That led to an opportunity for points as well for the Commanders. So just untimely miscues, something that we haven't seen associated with this version of Charger football that led to their big-time loss on the road by the Commanders.
There was a sequence prior. Johnston hits a big crosser. Herbert to Johnston, called back on a penalty. Next play, Keenan Allen up the sideline, called back on a penalty. How much do you point to the inefficiency, and how much do you point to a team that's dealing with attrition of their own? This offensive line is beat up in front of Justin Herbert.
Well, it certainly is, but I think that we probably should credit the Washington Commanders defense on this one. Von Miller was an offseason acquisition, and everybody said, all right, 36-year-old Von Miller, whatever. He had a sack and a half today. Dorrance Armstrong had 2 there. They affect the football there in the red zone with, 7 or so minutes left. When Justin Herbert, the Justin Herbert that we have seen, we had the MVP conversation earlier. 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Justin Herbert potentially as the leading MVP candidate. This is supposed to be a touchdown pass there. They tip the ball. Mikey Sandstro gets the interception. And so I thought this was a really solid performance by the Washington Commanders defense, that Jayden Daniels didn't have to do too much. We know that he's coming back. He has that knee brace, so he's not going to be the dual threat that he will be in a couple of weeks as the knee continues to heal. The defense needed to step up on the road, and they did so.
Ben, it's a Washington team that leaned into the rushing ability in the absence of their quarterback. We know he's a +1 in that run game. I'm not sure how much they want to put him in harm's way yet with that knee, but what did you make of Daniels in his return, 15 of 26, 231 in the touchdown?
Well, first and foremost, let's not underestimate just how important him being on the field is for this team, right? Regardless of how he played, regardless of how he looked, it's been a couple weeks. He had a knee injury. Just the fact of him being out there alone gives this team an energy boost, gives this team a feeling of, all right, we got our guy back out there. We've got a chance today. Let's go and play some ball. But you saw the complimentary side of things today. Deebo Samuel got going, almost 100 yards and a touchdown. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, the rookie, is doing an unbelievable job for this offense, running, passing. So they've seemed to have unlocked something a little bit. And as Jayden Daniels continues to come back from this injury, you would expect this offense and himself to get more and more comfortable as these weeks go on.
Another entrant into the NFC sweepstakes, Washington coming up with a big road win in L.A. A look at some Daniels numbers, double-digit comebacks since 2000. Daniels now with 3. This one the most recent. Again, 27 unanswered for Washington after going down 10-0.